Welcome back to Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Pretty much last time we extracted Quiet. 3 headshots. And down. Pretty much a smooth, quick extraction. Now let's continue.
Be careful down there, boss.
Pretty much. Let's see here. Yeah. This one captured the legendary brown bear. Don't want to do that right now. But we're gonna try to contact Huey. If you actually played through Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 4, you would actually recognize the voice actor. The one that actually voices Huey Emmerich also voices Hal Emmerich. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see. Gotta.
I had the R&D team analyze the honeybee. How?
Listen
The
to
CIA
some of the
wanted it with
briefing
everything
tapes.
intact. They took it apart to look at it. Then they put it back together. Everything intact. That's the R&D boys, all right. Turns out the honeybee's homing capabilities are a cut above previous manpads. It can detect a broad range of infrared wavelengths, and even ultraviolet for supplementary guidance. Hence the name, huh? Right. Honeybees rely on UV light to fly. With this device, flares don't do the target any good. That's why the Soviets are losing so many gunships, and why the CIA was so desperate to get it back. It wasn't just about preventing the Soviets from devising countermeasures. What if the likes of Iran got their hands on it? American aircraft would be put at risk too. We can use this tech to develop our own portable missile. That'll give us a huge advantage. It'll take a little time before the analysis results can be applied to actual implementation. But we'll keep moving with the research.
the unit that attacked us in the mist. You knew something about them.
That wasn't my first run-in with them. It happened right before I was captured by the Soviets. We were on the Zero line that day, the Afghan side. On our way back from training the Mujahideen at a mountain camp in Kunar province. There's a lot of that work in Afghanistan. Most PFs shy away from it because it draws too much attention. But for us, that was the whole point. The job itself went great. We just had to make it back to a tribal area in Pakistan. But all of a sudden, visibility got real bad. It was no sandstorm. Our point man gave this strange report. He said he could see skulls in the mist.
Skulls.
The next moment, he went silent. We scrambled into formation, right before his arms and legs came raining down on us. It was always supposed to be a dangerous mission, so I had Diamond Dog's very best with me. We were calling out to each other. And one by one, their voices just went dead. Whatever happened to me, I lost consciousness before I knew it. When I came to, I was in a Soviet camp, tied to an interrogation chair.
Could they be some new Spetsnaz unit?
No. The ones that interrogated me were just the average rank and file. Whatever group attacked us, the way they moved was just insane. And that mist, appearing out of nowhere. The Soviets don't have tech like that.
If they did, Ocelot would have heard about it.
I doubt the West does either. Otherwise, the folks at Langley would be sleeping a lot easier.
Why'd they come after you?
Wish I knew. I'm the only one who survived. Though I don't think they planned it that way. If I was their target, they wouldn't have just handed me over to the 40th Army. Whatever the case, we need to watch our step until we know who they really are. And boss, if you ever do run into them again, don't try to take them on. You just get the hell out of there. When I first started dealing with Zero, with Cypher, it was a somewhat parasitic relationship. Though, a mutually beneficial one. Cypher had no army of their own, so they wanted us. They wanted our strength. They approached me as a potential business partner.
But they had other motives.
Cypher coaxed us into Central America, into that US-Soviet proxy war, to fuel Mother Base's growth. Once we were big enough, they'd force us to join them. That was the plan.
That's why they had Paz still Zeke.
Right. And if we refused, she would use Zeke to fire a nuke from Mother Base. The world would consider us a liability, and countries would unite to destroy us.
We stopped the launch.
And yet they still took us down. Through that fake inspection they orchestrated to cover up their sabotage. That power Cypher wanted. We don't have it anymore. So why are they still after you? Is it just the fear of leaving you alive?
I don't know. Was Zero really... All I know is the man I knew wouldn't want this.
What do you mean?
We have to consider that it might not be Zero we're dealing with.
We know virtually nothing about Cypher anymore. How big they've gotten, what they want, or even who they really are. The new Mother Base started out as a test drilling rig operated by a mineral resources supplier, but their project fell through. The Seychelles government was happy to hand the place over to us. It was just scrap on stilts. So with a few dummy construction companies set up as fronts, we started renovating the half-finished rig. From the outside, it looked like...
Anti-air radar. Neutralize that, and our choppers can breathe a little easier.
Recreating the Mother Base we had 9 years ago. Only this time.
That's right. The Mother Base Cypher thought they destroyed will return from the grave to kill them. We'll prove to the world that we were the victors.
And if we lose again?
They can't fool us the same way twice. Now our enemies are in plain sight. And when our organization gets too big, we split it across companies. Any company that draws attention gets liquidated, and its capital is back-channeled into a new company. Most PFs are small-time operations anyway. And in this business, the minnows go bankrupt all the time. We've never aroused suspicion. Plus, we have Hewick.
Hewick?
Human
You destroyed their anti-air radar? It wasn't one of the targets, but that's put a hole in their air surveillance. The chopper will be able to get in close now. You can designate a landing zone near the outpost.
That gave me the idea. We dispatch moles into conflict zones around the world.
You made it to Surat power plant. Hamatherc should be beyond the gate at the northern edge of the facility. We have no idea what he's doing back there. But let's go find out.
Strength is that it has a cutout at each level. You get your job from one guy, then you hand it off to another. No one has direct access. It's a perfect black box. Hewick members also work their way into the superpowers intelligence agencies to make sure Diamond Dogs gets work. We have those countries by the balls. That's our deterrent when we need it.
Networking? In the intelligence community?
Sure, that's how we've grown this far. And when you go out on missions, intel from Hewick will be there to back you up. But despite all that, Cypher has its eyes on us. The only reason I'm not dead is that they needed to know where you were. Figured if you woke up, I'd go straight to you.
That's why you made that ruckus at the Zero line.
Yeah, to make their own surveillance work against them. I think it took some of the heat off Cyprus.
Kaz.
Then I just had to wait for you to save me. And I've gotten used to waiting.
Kaz.
That's not all. It was a good chance to scout the market. And with the West wanting the Soviets out of Afghanistan, their agencies are bursting at the seams with funding. Boss, let's start by building up our Afghan presence.
Why put Mother Base in the Seychelles?
We're at the center of the world here.
We're all the way out in the Indian Ocean.
Come on. Lebanon, Sri Lanka, East Timor, and Africa. From here, our reach extends to conflict zones the world over, including Afghanistan, of course.
So it's prime real estate for a mercenary.
Exactly. Latin America isn't as close as I'd like, but we have Amanda and her people to help in that department. And besides, the Seychelles government owes us a favor.
Owes us?
The Seychelles has strong ties to the East, which the West wanted to shake up. It came to a head 3 years ago in an attempted coup. It was a force of South African mercenaries with U.S. backing behind the scenes. They were only platoon size, but South Africa is home to some heavy PFs. Too much for the Seychelles to handle. In the end, they accepted help from the Tanzanian army and quelled the coup. We set up the deal and handled on-site tactical instruction. That led to some training work for the Seychelles military. And when we put down a mutiny within their forces, well, we made a lot of people happy. They don't pay us. They just let us have a piece of their offshore territory on the promise we'll come running if something else happens.
So we're bodyguards, too.
It's a good setup. We can only take Mother Base so far here. We'll have to find somewhere else when this place starts getting big.
Aren't you being a little hasty?
Nothing hasty about it. You're back with us now.
So, Kaz, the ship that took us from Cyprus, it used to be a whaler.
Yeah, a Japanese vessel. How was the voyage?
It was stimulating.
Well, she was part of a whaling fleet up until a few years ago. Her displacement isn't anything to write home about, but she can really move. She still had plenty of life left in her, but then the work dried up. Global opposition to whaling has been mounting for years.
Is that right?
The push to ban it has been gaining traction for a little over a decade. Individual species came under protection as the years went on. And then 2 years ago, the IWC adopted a moratorium on commercial whaling. Several countries, including Japan, fought it to the bitter end. But eventually, most whaling companies had no choice but to throw in the towel. You ever tried whale snake?
Can't say that I have.
When I was a kid in Japan, practically everybody ate it.
That good, huh?
The country was poor in those days, and whale was cheap. International opinions changed since then. In any case, that's why we were able to get a bargain price on the ship. Of course, we did end up spending 5 times the purchase price in modifications. We had to really work to fit in all the ESM and communications gear while keeping the whaler look intact. Right now, she's going around conducting SIGINT missions. In the future, we plan to use her as a communications relay base between you and Mother Base, and also as a chopper resupply vessel. Diamond Dogs. The word diamond originally comes from the Greek adamas. It means indomitable, unyielding. Other words for the stones often mean eternal bond, fortitude, or purity. The same is true of the Star of Bethlehem flowers you laid on the boss's grave. They represent innocence, as well as chastity, yielding to no man while maintaining one's virtue. In other words, staying loyal to something.
Let's see.
Ocelot said the number of private forces is increasing, and they modeled themselves after us.
They're a far cry from the likes of us.
But why? 9 years ago we made enemies of the world, as a nuclear-equipped force, independent of ideology or state.
Yes. Sooner or later, the real UN would have stepped in.
So why are they giving these PFs free reign?
That's our fault, too.
What do you mean?
What happened 9 years ago was a real problem for a lot of people. An organization as big as ours, with our facilities, was wiped off the map. Not an easy thing to hide. But if our existence came to light...
He's coming too.
So with the
Roger that.
We had contracts all over, east and west, from superpowers to banana republics. The lot. Our clients denied all association with the likes of us. They had to make sure things didn't blow up on them. But at the same time, they missed us. They really missed us. The demand for armies for hire was as strong as ever. The international community turned a blind eye to what happened to us, despite still needing people who could do our jobs. History couldn't afford to lose us. As soon as we were gone, they needed a replacement. So private forces spread everywhere. And they're all just a phone call away.
But still.
I know. PFs are totally different from what we envisioned. Nation-states, revolutionaries, terrorists. They have a lot of clients, and Cypher is one of them. Cypher stays anonymous, but I know their work when I see it. In the eyes of those clients, the world's PFs are all just expendable pawns. The clients don't have to worry about losing their own men. Nobody knows they're involved, and PFs are cheap. In short, the world is chewing up soldiers and spitting them out. Even some of the old Mother Base's survivors are still working for PFs. Some guys created their own smaller forces. Others were taken on by emerging PFs. Everybody's gone their separate ways. But none of them are living their dream, because they're not fighting with you. Of course, I tried to headhunt as many of them as I could for Diamond Dogs. It was all a waste of time. They said they weren't interested without you to lead them. But now you're back. And everything's gonna change. We'll unite all private forces under you, transcending nations and economies. What is a nation? Just a patch of dirt. The bonds among us will surpass nations, and that's what'll put the world under our control. We'll establish a new kind of country, redefine the very concept of it. Even Cypher will be below us, an extraterritorial federation of military nations. The United States of Force. Once word of Big Boss's return starts traveling, that'll be our true deterrent against Cypher. In other words, no one will dare to come gunning for you.
How do you figure?
Cypher lacks a large-scale fighting force. PFs are the perfect tool for them.
See here.
But those PFs revere you,
Grab this
the
guy.
legendary Big Boss. If Cypher kills you
Interrogate him.
now, they wouldn't take it lying down. Maybe they'd even go looking for revenge.
There
But
we
they definitely
go.
wouldn't keep doing Cypher's dirty work, even if it put their lives at stake. That's why it's no longer a benefit to Cypher to get rid of you. The very fact that you're alive is our greatest defense against Cypher.
Nice to know. It'll buy us some time while we get back to full strength.
Just keep in mind,
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
in practice, the PFs around the world don't know your face. Just declaring that you're Big Boss won't be enough to convince them. And if they see you as an enemy, they'll come at you with everything they've got.
Some hero.
That's why you need to bring them back to Mother Base. Show them on your terms that you really are the one and only Big Boss. Once you've proven that, they won't hesitate to join us. We were lucky
He's
to
coming
get
too. Roger that.
There's no one in Diamond Dogs who can so much as maintain that thing.
Bionic arm, not cyborg, if you go by what he calls it. But you're right, the East is light years ahead in bionics. They can even detect through the skin the slight electrical signals from the brain that order muscles to move. The Soviet Union completed their first bionic arm capable of doing that back in the 60s. Although I guess that news didn't really reach the West.
No kidding. The doorknobs was the only one I ever saw. Quite a shock to see it for the first time.
And it was no mean feat to get hold of Snake's arm. I couldn't get one for you at the time, but you know, now...
Forget it. I've no intention of relying on bionics. Right now I need to keep the pain fresh in my mind.
Well, it's your decision. But don't you find it Inconvenient?
Not a bit. But the phantom pain, it never lets up. Do you know how many men I saw die that day? There's nothing we can do to bring them back. And you expect me to care about getting a measly arm and leg back? Sorry. But my pain belongs to all our dead comrades. I'll keep living with it for their sake. It'll guide me straight and true until I've gotten them the vengeance they deserve.
The map has been updated.
Good.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Diamond Dog's intel team specializes in information gathering, mainly HUMINT and SIGINT. They plant scouts and moles in the field. These operatives will blend into the local populace and work under the guise of a resident, or disguise themselves as travelers and ask around for information. They observe targets using various hidden bugs, cameras, and transmitters, and by tapping their satellite and phone communications. Analyzing all this information creates a clear picture of how wars and the PFs fighting them are changing. This data can also be used for threat assessment when deciding whether to accept contracts from certain clients. And during missions, the intel team keeps track of target locations and produces FOM predictions, reporting mission-critical information based on real-time remote observation of changes in the AO. What you hear from us over the radio is based on how we interpret the data gathered at the command platform. However, intel team operatives go unarmed in almost all situations to avoid revealing themselves to the enemy. Some will carry a knife, but most have nothing at all. As such, don't expect them to help you take on heavily armed adversaries like PF soldiers. Think of them as entirely passive in the hot zone. Plus, they use all manner of techniques to remain inconspicuous in the field. If you ever spot one, you'll have some serious explaining to do. So remember, their specialty is espionage. It may not be of use in a firefight, but when it comes to intel, they're pros.
The map has been updated.
He's coming too.
The map has
Roger
been
that.
updated.
You got to extract him.
Replaced. You have arrived at your destination.
You can disrupt communications between enemy outposts by destroying comms equipment. That'll prevent one post from sending reinforcements to another.
DD makes a pretty good partner, huh, boss?
Too early to say.
Yeah? Just seeing him come back makes me real proud.
What breed is he? He's not a husky.
You're right. Siberian Husky is a cross between a Spitz-type dog and a wolf. I think DD might have some wolf blood in him, too. He isn't just smart. He's also shown remarkable judgment. If he doesn't do what you want him to, he's just doing what he thinks is right in the situation. And he's steady under fire. Remember, he's no lapdog. But learn his strengths, and you'll understand each other soon enough. You'll make one hell of a team.
Ocelot. Why don't you take it upon yourself to train him?
Why?
Yeah. When's the last time you heard a wildcat raising a dog?
I have an eye for him.
I knew at first glance he'd make the right partner for you.
Huh.
And I figured it was about time he got out into the world.
So you passed him off on me?
There, you see? I knew you liked him.
I don't know about that yet. I still think he's trying to figure... What about you?
I prefer to work alone.
Ocelots don't hunt in packs.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, I'm glad you like him. Dee Dee's really taken to you, too. And to going on your walks. Don't be shy about taking him with you in the future.
I'll think about it.
Всем боевым группам, это КП. Вышел из строя целый ряд ламп. Похоже на проблемы с электроэнергией. Ближайший патруль. Проверить здесь питание.
Supply drop complete. Analysis complete. Analysis complete.
Can we get these to die?
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Please select a drop point. Supplies requested. Supply drop complete.
Good dog.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Changes have already been finalized.
It's not operational yet. The remote piloting and AI control haven't reached the application stage.
Who said anything about an AI? That was Coldman's mistake 10 years ago.
Be that as it may, we'll need to modify postural control to accommodate a human pilot. I share your urgency, but we need more time to finish it.
Analyze the transmission. He's been in contact with both of us.
Right. planning on leaving us, Doctor?
Huh? What?
I'm taking your legs back!
So you're just gonna kill me?
Sahelanthropus is mine now. Listen, I may dwell in the dark, but I refuse to be judged by your standards, traitor. I hope your friends give you what's coming to you. Take him to the base. Yes, sir. Transporting Emmerich to the base camp and returning to base.
We're shutting down. All units, strike camp and clear out.
We still have use for him.
This is what I was talking about last time. Pretty much going up TV automatically goes into
No doubt about it, boss. That man is your extraction target. Emmerich. The weapon system that disappeared into that cave, and the man who was with it. Emmerich must know something about what's going on. He was transferred to the Soviet base camp. I've marked it on the map. Make your way to that base camp.
I'm gonna clear this one away.
The clouds approach.
Now to go up, get that aid skin.
Nice find. Analyzing the intel file you picked up. We've got a fix on the target. I've updated your map info. Check it on your iDroid.
So, can't even use Fulton nowadays. See, 0%. Don't want to waste Fulton. Yeah. When I first went through this, I thought it was through that door, but if you can see, it's not gonna be that easy. We gotta backtrack. You know, the door that I lockpicked to trigger that cinematic. That's pretty much what I need to go through.
That's an enemy gunship. A single burst from his machine gun can cut a man in half. Tread carefully, boss.
There we go. Down the chopper.
You gotta extract him.
Reason why I took down that chopper is to mainly create an opening to leave this case.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
Boss, get down. The enemy sniper. Stay low and crawl along the ground. That should enable you to sneak past enemies. boss? That giant weapon system that disappeared into the cave? I've, heard it was the Kremlin's biggest secret. But to think that doctor has been working on it. And the man with the skull for a face. It's been on my mind since you encountered the skulls during the Honeybee mission. It's really him. Boss, he's the commander of Cypher Strike Force XOF. Probably the mastermind of the attack 9 years ago. I thought he and Zero parted ways. I'll look into it. You just focus on the mission.
Это КП, понял. Оставайтесь на чеку. Конец связи.
Got him. Easy kill. There we go.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. Analysis complete. Analysis complete.
Snake, do you remember Amanda?
Yeah, I do.
Their revolution was a success. Somoza resigned, and Nicaragua has a new government. Amanda's really working hard for her country to be reborn.
Good for them.
She says she wishes Chico could be there.
That revolution was the dream. For Amanda, for Chico, and their father.
That chopper was no place for Chico to die. I'd like to at least think history will remember his part in the revolution.
When you pick up a gun, there's always a chance you'll die for nothing. He knew that as well as the rest. Now that he's gone, it's up to the rest of us to decide what it was all
There
worth.
we go.
If we don't, there's nothing to prove that Chico ever lived at all. We're his mark on the world.
Amanda told us that Strangelove contacted her after the revolutionaries came to power in Nicaragua. Strangelove, the AI researcher from Mother Base?
I remember her.
We'd lost touch with her, till Amanda heard from her out of the blue. She told Amanda she wanted to salvage Peace Walker's drive parts, or something from the bottom of Lake Nicaragua. Amanda passed the request on to her friends in the new administration. She's a national hero now, after all. So Strangelove got a Soviet military aircraft to transport something to somewhere. But apparently the cargo wasn't big enough to have been Peace Walker itself.
So what was it?
Who knows? We recovered Peace Walker's nuclear warhead ourselves 9 years ago. What could Strangelove have been after? Amanda said she didn't mention what her reason was or where she was headed. Nicaragua is a socialist state now. With Amanda vouching for her, the government didn't feel the need to concern itself with the details. All Strangelove told Amanda was that she was going to continue her research, and that the rest was a secret. Right before the attack, Huey was in the control tower to prepare for the inspectors. He was with them when it all went down. The control tower collapsed with the rest of it struck. His body was never recovered. But he was the one who met the inspection party when they arrived. And he was the one who showed the nuclear inspectors to the tower. You remember the way it went. First he recommends we agree to the inspection. Then he gives them the okay without our permission. All the time acting as if he was doing us a favor. On top of that, he even had the guards disarmed that day. It would send the wrong message, he said. Whatever the angle, it all leads back to Huey. I curse my own stupidity for not realizing sooner. Huey escaped with that unit by chopper. I've been hunting him for 9 long years. The other reason I was operating around Afghanistan was to dig up his location.
Huey's in Afghanistan?
Yes, and I have a good idea where. Now we just wait for the right moment. This time, we'll be the ones using him. He's going to tell us who our guests really were that used a fake nuclear inspection to blast our home into the ocean.
Oh, be right back.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. Weather will clear shortly.
I'm back. Let's see.
A sniper known as Quiet is lurking in the Afghan wilderness. This Quiet has performed a string of hits on Soviet officers. The attacks always occur in the same area, but sweeps of the area turn up no traces whatsoever. They've even posted guards, but they never spot a thing. And then before you know it, another body's lying on the ground. You ever heard of someone who operates like that? No matter how still and silent a person tries to be, they always create some kind of ripple. Be it breathing, a heartbeat, eating, excreting, body temperature, sweat. If this sniper can really vanish completely, that's just not human. I guess Quiet is the right name. But what is Quiet's objective? The local guerrillas wouldn't use this kind of tactic. I just can't see them hiring some superhuman mercenary. And the Soviet officers who've been killed, well, they were all opposed to or skeptical of the secret weapons development being conducted in the area. Sure, they were a problem for those supporting it, but the Soviets have nothing to gain by killing them. So we have an assassin with superhuman combat skills who isn't working for the guerrillas or the Soviets. Miller has a theory that this sniper is a hitman for Cypher. He thinks it's time we silence Quiet for good. But I'm against the lethal treatment. I say we bring the sniper back alive and break that silence. Because even if this Quiet doesn't say a word, there's still plenty we can learn. Just remember this, boss. If our hunch is right, you'll be on this sniper's hit list too. If things seem a little too quiet when you're in the field, watch out. Quiet's out there somewhere. And if possible, this is one sniper I want back here breathing. Snake, I wanted to ask you about the man on fire. What do you remember from the hospital? Anything we can use?
Well, he took off the moment the sprinklers started up.
Sprinklers?
The fire system? And when he got sprayed with water from the burst pipe, it slowed him down. When we escaped on horseback, he wouldn't cross the river either. And then it started to rain. And he disappeared. Water against fire. It's that simple. I mean, it makes sense. It's just hard to believe it would work on a guy like that.
Let's see here.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base. Please select a mission. Unit dispatched. Please select a mission.
There we go. Already seen that. I guess there is no way around. But
No doubt about it, boss. That man is your extraction target. Emmerich. The weapon system that disappeared into that cave, and the man who was with it. Emmerich must know something about what's going on. He was transferred to the Soviet base camp. I've marked it on the map. Make your way to that base camp. Nice find. Analyzing the intel file you picked up. We've got a fix on the target. I've updated your map info. Check it on your iDroid.
Please select a drop point.
That's an enemy gunship.
Supplies
A single burst from
requested.
its machine gun could cut a man in half. Tread carefully, boss.
Supply drop complete.
Конец связи.
Please supplies requested.
here we go.
Supply drop complete.
Go!
1, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
КП, это Дмитрий 9. Никаких признаков врага. Отзываем поиск. Прием. Это КП, понял. Оставайтесь на чеку. Конец связи.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
Here we go. So I would go ahead and reset this mission just so I can have my vehicle. Because that's a long way. I have either D-horse or vehicle. But I want to keep D-dog because of how he spots out enemies and everything, just so I can at least plan my way through it as I go. See how I actually took down that chopper just as easily as last time I went through, instead of having to just go get one weapon. I went for an entire loadout. Easier. Just resets the ammo, suppressors, and all that.
Did you see that, boss? That giant weapon system that disappeared into the cave? I've heard it was the Kremlin's biggest secret. But to think that doctor has been working on it. And the man with the skull for a face. It's been on my mind since you encountered the skulls during the honeybee mission. It's really him. Boss, he's the commander of Cypher Strike Force XOF. Probably the mastermind of the attack 9 years ago. I thought he and Zero parted ways. I'll look into it. You just focus on the mission.
Caution.
Now I know where to go.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
It's not on a paved road. It's on this dirt path. I need to go. There we go.
Map has been updated. Clouds approaching.
Искать сектор!
He's coming too. Roger that.
Понял. Будьте начеку. Выкройте врага. Конец связи.
Don't need to shoot that chopper now. As long as I stay still, that chopper will not attack. Plus, this mission is where pretty much that one thing that we saw during the honeybee mission.
Копыта, Дмитрий 3! Мы осмотрели сектор, ничего не нашли. Отзываем поиск. Прием! Это КП, понял. Не расслабляйтесь. Они еще могут быть рядом. Конец связи.
Please select a drop point. Supplies requested.
That thing actually appears near the end of this mission.
Okay.
You'll learn what it's called once.
Supply drop complete.
Is
Good.
found and brought to near the exit of that base that is coming up.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base. Supplies requested.
Got a refill on ammo and equipment
Supply drop complete.
because of the suppressor has like several shots, and before the suppressor actually breaks.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
Pretty much if you actually played MGS3, you can recognize the outfit
Enemy
I just
presence
said. What?
detected. The map has been updated.
You gonna extract him? A bipedal weapon system. The same model as the one in the cave? Looks like they're about ready to start deploying it. Eric's lab is the building at the north side, with a vault roof.
Yeah. The far one. Pretty much right over here. And I'm right over here. Meaning I got a good ways to go. And I gotta dodge a lot of enemies and vehicles.
Keep in mind, mind that time doesn't stop while you use the iDroid. You can even move around while using it, but pay attention to your surroundings.
Caution, sandstorm approaching. Please select a strike point. Strike requested.
As a walker fast, you can operate off-road too. You do best to avoid them.
Всем боевым группам, это КП. Вышел целый ряд ламп. Похоже на проблемы с электроэнергией. Ближайший патруль. Проверите их питание.
Please select
КП, это зона 7. Атакуем с неизвестной позиции. Прием. Это КП, понял. Будьте начеку.
strike requested. Clients approaching.
There we go.
КП, это зона 7. Враг убил одного из наших. Я только что нашел тело. Прием. Это КП, понял. Последующие потери неприемлемы. Держите ухо восток. Конец связи.
Please all supplies requested.
КП, это зона 7. Тут что-то есть. Что делать? Прием. Это КП, понял. Усилить безопасность. Повышенная боевая готовность. Конец связи.
Supply drop complete.
КП, это зона 7. Враг убил одного из наших. Я только что нашел тело. Прием. Это КП, понял. Усилить безопасность и найти нарушителя. Конец связи.
Gotta watch out.
Please select a strike point. Please select a strike point. Strike requested.
КП, это 44. У нас труп. Противник где-то близко. Прием. Это КП, понял. Всем боевым группам проверить окрестности. Не спавиться от чужака. Конец связи.
Strike will commence shortly.
Boom! Dead sniper.
КП, 36. А на голове откуда? Техники в признака врага. Прием. Это КП, понял. Будьте начеку. Выкрути врага. Конец связи.
Please select a strike point. Strike requested. Strike will commence shortly.
Gotta stay still.
Boss, get down. That's an enemy gunship. Stay low and crawl along the ground. That should enable you to sneak past enemies.
Yes! Right time! Woo! Down the gunship!
Выкрути врага. Конец связи.
No doubt. So that one.
Please select a drop point.
Gonna have to here.
Please supplies requested.
КП, это 54. А на голове откуда? Техники в признака врага. Прием. Это КП, понял. Будьте начеку. Выкрути врага. Конец связи.
Supply drop complete.
Hell yeah! Gunship down. Saving me time. That's sneaky. There we go. I had to use the same tactic using bombardment to get the gunship to actually get close enough to shoot it down. Thus, making it easier.
Понял. Оставайтесь на чеку. Конец связи.
There we go. Oh. Just so he won't alert others to my position. The bombardment at E. Damn! There we go.
Сейчас не можем. Он надо продержаться
subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Please select a strike point. Strike requested. Please select a strike point. Strike requested.
Ah! Here we go. Come on. Come on. Drop on those enemies.
Strike will commence shortly.
Yes!
The map has been updated.
Need supplies.
Supplies requested.
Good dog.
КП-26. Потерял противника. Ищу последнюю точку соприкосновения. Прием. Это КП. Понял. Проверьте, но осторожно. Конец связи.
Hell yeah! Now, let's see.
КП-23. Никаких признаков противника. Обыскиваю местность. Прием. Это КП. Понял. Следи за ними. Не позволяйте им уходить с фланга. Конец связи. Штаб. Штаб. Это КП. Возразился огонь. Открыли огонь в ответ. Но потеряли врага. Враг может все еще прятаться поблизости. Соблюдайте осторожность. Штаб. Это КП. Ответьте. Штаб.
There we go.
Ответьте. Штаб. Штаб. Это КП. Штаб. Прием.
Here we go.
Who are you? Snake? It's not you, is it?
Hey! It's just a machine. Are you?
Dr. Emmerich.
Snake? Hey, what gives? Ah! Let me go! No! Give me back my legs!
Right on schedule. Now bring him back to Mother Base.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Okay, I'm sending a chopper close by. Get to the LZ with Emmerich.
Hang on a second. Let's use the walker gear I developed to escape. There's a special one here at the lab. Only I can activate it, and I'll tell you how to operate it.
Ignore Emmerich. We don't need his wind-up toys.
It is a long way there.
Why don't you use that walker gear of his? No way. We can't trust him. How do we know his crap will even work?
Well, it's better than carrying the man the whole way. Boss, use the walker gear to escape.
It's your call, boss.
I'll use the walker gear after I take this small break. I'm back.
I'll start it up. Get this off me! Here we go. They're single pilot machines. I'll... Whoa! Hey!
Here we go. Ha ha! Let's see.
I was developing a bipedal weapon for the Soviet Union. It hasn't been deployed yet. I was doing mobility testing. Once the walker gear is finished, they'll have a huge advantage in close combat. And once they add my masterpiece into the equation, this war will be over. The Soviets will win.
He was developing bipedal weapons for the Soviets. If that's the case, what's Cypher's interest in it? Boss, think back. 9 years ago, we invited that nuclear inspection team to Mother Base. It was a ruse. They turned out to be Cypher's strike force. It was Emmerich who brought them there. He's been underground ever since, working with Cypher.
I had no idea. I thought the inspection was real. I swear it. If anyone's to blame, it's you, Snake. We should never have had that movement. That's the reason Mother Base was destroyed.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ.
Cypher threatened to kill me. Made me do research for them. That's right. Creating bipedal weapons. 9 long years. Forced to do whatever they said.
This is P-Quad. Have arrived at LZ. Will stand by.
Here comes the twist. You'll figure out what's coming. There we go.
As I thought. This is the real Sahelanthropus. You and your friend will die here. Behold! Today is the day weapons learn to walk upright!
Bring down the chopper. Give it the slip somehow. Stay behind cover as you move.
Squad have arrived at LZ. Will stand by.
Support helicopter has arrived.
Gotta have to do this slow.
Stay alert. You're not out of the woods yet. Find a place to hide. Lost him. You need to focus, boss. Get the target to the RV.
You see that red little outline thing in the shape of the head of Sahelanthropus? That is where it is. Gotta have to be patient. Marked it just so I can actually keep an eye on it. Marker F is what we're gonna use as the thing that will guide us. Oh, fuck!
All right, the chopper's touching down. Don't waste any time getting on board. And don't forget Emmerich.
Here we go.
That's the way.
Gaining altitude.
Here it comes. Use the chopper's minigun. Shake them all.
That's all done. Yes! Yeah!
An upright bipedal weapon. In terms of hominids, it's a sahelanthropus. How did they complete it without me?
We'll hear the rest back at base.
Oh yeah, that was intense there, that last part.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base. Development project has been added.
Oh yeah.
Mission complete. Great work.
Oh yeah. Holy shit. That was intense.
Why do you suspect me? What did I do? I'm on your side. What about him? Miller was in contact with Cypher 9 years ago. He was working with them. He's the traitor, Snake! What's that? More truth serum?
No. Stronger truth
Oh,
serum.
please. Please keep me here. I need protection. Ah! Ah! Oh. 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 Why?
You're the odd one out.
Why me?
We all lost something.
What?
Except you.
Don't.
Truth serum isn't working. Either some procedure he had done boosted his metabolic enzymes, or he's undergone special gene therapy.
What's he saying?
Same as 6 hours ago. I had no idea the nuclear inspection 9 years ago was a ruse. Cypher forced me to do that research after the attack.
Do you think he had a hand in it?
I do. but there's no proof yet. Take a listen to this later.
We need proof before we can pass judgment. Keep an eye on him. And don't tell anyone he's here.
We'll have him continue his research in there. It's for his own good. The older guys will want his head. We can't guarantee his safety if we let him out. Boss.
He mentioned something interesting. The reason why they pulled their plug on the operation in Afghanistan. He said their funding started going to Central Africa instead. Cypher is pursuing new research in Africa.
Africa? What research?
Emmerich doesn't know the details, but one thing he said does make sense. The Sahelanthropus alone isn't enough to cause an RMA. He claims that what they're doing in Africa is the missing piece. A weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
Meaning it's not just another nuke.
Here we go.
Boss, there's no doubt about it. Cypher's working on something in Central Africa. There's evidence they've been in contact with private forces operating in the region. We follow that evidence. We should learn what Cypher is after. Diamond Dogs has gotten a lot bigger. Now's the time to take the offensive. Head back to the ACC for your next mission.
Please select a delivery point.
Here we go.
Snake? Thank you. You were always so kind to me, Snake. Come back again, okay, Snake?
I'm gonna end it off here. I'll see you all in the next one. Just let me get the rewards from the last mission that I sent my guys on.